Hello friends and everyone, welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. I am Frederick and I'm happy to have you here today. Do you want to actually validate your form when the page initializes? Let's say you have a default data from the database that you want to grab them and now assign them to an edit form. In that, you want to apply validation as soon as the page initializes. How can you do it? In this video, we are going to look at how to do that. The normal way is when you have an edit form, you create a model, then we have a button as submit. As soon as we click on the button, we have this form validated. But in this, we're going to handle the other way around. Validate that form as soon as the page loads up. So in order to do this, then we're going to use an edit context, because the edit context can be found in this edit form and it handles all validation events. So let's see. Let's first close this. I have this is a .NET 8 Blazor application created, and in that I'm going to click on the pages and then the home component. Let's see how to validate form using the normal way, and we see how to validate it when the page loads as well. So in here in our home page, let's say this is what we have. You need to create just a class for this. Maybe when the page loads, we are creating this input model. We have an ID and now the name. Only the name is required, right? So let me save this. Let me reopen it again, because I hate this black and white or white and blue. Okay. Close this and open it again. Alright, so this, we need to use system.component model.data annotations. I believe you know this attribute. Okay, so now in a normal way, we need to create an edit form, and in that you're going to specify the markup as the data annotations and maybe validation message, etc. So let's see. We have an edit form. You can see we have the data annotations validator. Then we have our input model. There's our input element. We have the validation message. So you can just display the message when this form is being validated. And now we have a button, and the type here is going to be submit. It's going to submit to this form. Okay, we're saying that on valid submit, we want to call this method. So meaning that we have to create a method to handle this. Then we say this is void. Then we say it is save. Then in here, let's say we have this method, which currently is doing nothing in here, but for the sake of this to write up to this event, we do that. So let's save this, and when we run this, let's see what we're going to have. Alright, so we have an error here. Let's check it out. So it is saying that cannot convert this into unvalid submits. The type in here, void save. Okay, so we need to create here instance of this. So you're going to say input model equal to new. Okay. Alright, so you can see we have our form ready. Now if I click on this submit, that is when this form gets validated. Have you seen it? When I refresh this page, unless I click on a button here before this form gets validated. And maybe we are getting data from an API and we want to fix them straight ahead into the various elements in the forms. So we don't want to actually hit a button here to validate. We want to validate as soon as the page reloads or the page renders for the first time or any other. Okay, so in such case, how are you going to do it? We can just remove this button and now create a class which is going to have from a component base. We can take in the edit context from this form, then we can validate it when the page parameter sets. That is when a value here gets changed. We want to call that method to validate it. Now let's see how to work on that. So first of all, we're going to remove this button from here and here, because the user is not going to interact with this. As soon as the page loads, we want to validate this. Okay, so once you're done here, let's create a simple class. We're going to inherit from this component base class. So let's go to solution. Let's create a class and name it as custom validator. So let's add a new class here. Then we say this is custom validator.cs. You can give it any name at all. .cs. So in this custom validator.cs file, we are going to inherit from component base. So component base. It is coming from Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Component. Then in here, we need to use this cascading because we're going to inherit this from the parent, that's the EditForm context. Okay, so we need to add a cascading parameter. Then in that, you can create a private edit contest. Now this contest, you're going to say my custom contest. So my custom contest. Then let's have our CSS. So in this, the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to override this method when the parameter sets this. That's where we want to call this. So when parameter set, we want to validate it. So in case we have any element or any charge in it being, when the value gets changed, we want to actually call this. So we can call this my custom. Then in here we say dot validate. In this edit contest, we can have this validate method in it. Okay, this is all that we need to do. Very simple one. So as soon as the parameter set, it's going to call this method. All right, now let's see. So let's copy this custom, and in here after the data annotation validator, let's put in our custom validator here. Save this, and now let's see. So I'm going to click this save. Here there's no user interaction. It's going to be done automatically since we have this attribute specified on top. Maybe let's add this as well. So maybe we can have as required. Let's save this. Now let's run this and check the output. Oh, that's fine. So you can see that as soon as the page loads, we have the name field is required. Have you seen that? We did not include the number. That's the first one. So let's include this as input number. Then we have at bind value. And now this is going to be model.id. Okay, so maybe let's have a class form control for this, and also have same for this input test. Okay, so bind value. All right, so now we have this. Let's see. So we wait for this page to get rendered, and we're going to see that these two text boxes are going to be red. Danger tells you that we need to provide value for it. Now we see since here we have the default value as 0, that's why we can actually change this. We go to the code, and now from this required, we could have the range attribute. Now the range here start from the minimum is 10, and then the maximum is, let's say, 100. Now with this, let's see. I think we need to render this again. Oh, that's fine. You can see we have it, isn't it? Now we have this here, but we are not having the message. Maybe I forgot that. I believe you did the right thing, isn't it? So this, then this here. So instead of the, we say there's an ID. And I believe we must have this worked. So now you can see that this is working 100%, isn't it? Yes, so our form get validated as soon as the page rendered. Now let's say when we supply a value to a property in this form, is it going to still validate it? Let's have a look. So once you have here the ID that we have, we're going to assign maybe 20 to this as a default value. Now let's run this and see. Yeah, so you can see that there's no validation against it because there's a default value supplied. So this custom validation is working. We can now render our validate form as soon as the page renders or page loads. Right, good. So I'll leave this source code on the GitHub. Check the video description. You're gonna have it in there. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do that, and also give thumbs up to this video if you enjoyed it. I'm going to catch you again for a next video, so stay tuned.